Right, it's the show. It's the asshole cooking show. It's the show. It's the show. It's the show. The asshole cooking show. It's the show. Yeah. All right, today I'm gonna go ahead and do this. It's gonna be supper time in another hour or so, but I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this macaroni and cheese deal here. I did it before, and the one time I did it, it was good thing I didn't record it. It was be a little bit clumsy anyway because I learned from mistake and did it better. But I'll be telling you not to do when I cut up this cheese. You gotta cut it in small pieces anyway. Once I get on with this, you'll see what I mean. Because if you cut your cheese up to melt it to make your mac and cheese, it's gonna take forever to melt. But I don't know. You can do a tactic and melt it separately. Lubricate a pan and do some separate melting tricks. But anyway, we're gonna be about to get started. Guys, I'm gonna take this like this and toss it in. Yeah, I had one stick in there already, but I didn't record it, and then sometimes you end up needing a little bit more than you think. So it's the next step, and then I'm going to go ahead and just throw this macaroni in, and I'm going to need a little bit of lubrication in there, so the butter is going to be a good thing because, yeah, when that cheese starts getting thick, and once the macaroni gets good and cooked, and I'm stirring it up, I'm going to be in the process here. I'm going to be cutting the cheese up in little bits and adding it there. Then I'm going to turn down the heat when the macaroni is good and cooked, or even turn it off while I'm getting the cheese cut, but then we're going to have it melted in there. But like I said, if the cheese is cut in too big of a chunks, it's going to take forever to melt. Trust me, I've done it before, and I know, and I made a mess. But anyway, the next step, right, I'm going to murder some of this cheese here. First of all, I'm just going to cut in little slices like this, and then I'm just going to go like that, and like that in little strips and squares. But almost like you're fixing a table of, finger food or hors d'oeuvres, If you want to throw a little bit of this between some Ritz crackers, that's cool too. But cut it in this little small, dice it up because, like I said, if I use a big-ass chunk or throw a whole thing in, another ways to melt it that I didn't have very good luck with. So we're going to do that. I'm not going to spend too much time and make a big speech about it. Just do this real quick so I don't make the video painfully long and get to the point. But just going to give you enough of the idea here. You know what I'm doing. Just chop it. Got to be small because it'll melt easy. Because when I'm in the process, this is macaroni is cooking. And to get it kind of cooked the way it should be, and then this has got to be small enough to melt in with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to stir this up, and then it's going to get thick when you put a whole bunch. I'm going to cut some more of this, but like I said, as soon as I'm going to pause this, and then I'm going to have more cut in the next step when I do the next segment. So I got a bunch of this cut. I could use the rest of it, but I won't. But something else I'm going to include not yet. But once I have had my cheese melted in there and this gets thick, instead of adding more water, I forgot to tell you. If you want to, you cannot do it. If you have milk, like this, or milk in a jug, or a carton, or I've used that powdered milk if I got it for nothing, but you add off the water to that. But see, I like using this milk for mac and cheese. Any kind of a milk that's already a liquid. Because powdered milk, you kind of got to mix it separately and all that, because milk adds to the flavor. But so when it's in the process where it's starting to get kind of thick from the cheese, I just add some of this milk, and then that's what we're going to do. So this is kind of got to swell up some more. This is a lot of water, but this is going to be swelling up some more. Sometimes if it sticks a little bit, I use a metal spoon. But a little bit longer yet. I gotta let that swell up some more. It's not quite cooked, and then we're gonna throw in this cheese. I took out a lot of this water. The macaroni seems to be pretty well cooked, but I'm going to use this for something else later. But like I said, I was going to add milk later on, and I don't want all that in there. But we're going to just, in your own house, yes, you have your hands good and washed. We're going to add a little bit of this cheese and start stirring it in a little bit at a time. This is going to kind of get hot and melt. But like I said, when I did it too big, it doesn't work out. And you try to melt a larger hunk of cheese, you try that. Or if you want to use cheese slices, it can work too. Or I always wanted to do this with different kinds of cheese, whether it's mozzarella or Swiss or whatever. I don't care. Cheese is cheese. You want to do a different kind of cheese, I might do a show with a different kind of cheese, with this here. But I'm going to throw that in there. That should be enough. Whoops. I'm going to bring it to a simmer and then check on it. Think in a second I might just cut up a little bit more of this cheese and throw it in. But to give it a chance to melt first. But I'll put it here and then have it to a simmer here. Put my lid back on, but I'm going to have it simmer real low because I'm going to cut some of this cheese up real quick. And even if I don't use it all, we're going to snack on it as finger food like we already been starting to do. So I ended up using the whole brick of cheese. We were snacking on little slices of it, eating it like that, cold. But this is simmering, and look at it now. Just need a little longer to melt the rest of this cheese, and then it'll be done. This in here. Like I said, I'm going to save this because I'm going to make something else. I used 2 sticks of butter because I didn't want nothing sticking. And I don't want to waste this throwing it down the sink, because I got immediate use of it real soon for today's supper. So we're going to come back a little bit later here and make sure the rest of that is melted. But if you get hungry enough, maybe you might want it with a little chunks in here. But we're going to do that. All right. Still a little bit of lumps of cheese in here. Still need melted. Like you can still eat it that way. But I use a metal spoon right now so I can scrape the bottom, make sure nothing is burning the pot. And I have it on a simmer right now. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, I ain't going to do it yet, where I cannot do it if I don't want to, or you can not do it if you don't want to. But I'm going to end up doing it once I turn this completely off to let it cool, because some of us don't have Kevlar mouths to go ahead and eat it. If you want to speed up the cooling process and add your milk, plus, also, when this cools, it's going to get thick. And then you may want to cool it anyway, so you may want to wait to put your milk in there. And that milk will cool it down somewhat. So I'm going to wait till this simmers some more, and then we're going to see if I'm going to do that or not. So almost melted. There's a few little chunks in here. I've turned it off. I'm going to let it cool, but instead of leaving a lid off when I let it cool, I'm going to leave a lid on for a little bit because maybe that heat will melt it a little bit too. But it's turned off, and I'm going to let it sit. And then right when it starts getting cooler, it's getting thick already. And matter of fact, yeah, so there's a few chunks in there. I've been picking at it and eating it a little bit. I'm starting to like it anyway, so you might want it a little chunky. Partially melted cheese. It's starting to taste pretty damn good. I might just leave it that way, but we're going to come back after this is sitting for a little bit of time. And like I said, if you can add the milk if you want to, I might. We're going to see soon enough if I need it. But a lot of things you cook will start getting real thick right as you let it cool. Took the lid off. If there's any chunks in there, they're very small. Look at that. The chunks are very small. And I'm almost ready to starting eating this. Now I got Todd Rundgren playing in the background in the music choice station here. I think I'm going to get ready. We want to ready to start eating this, so I'm going to pour some of this milk in here right now, to a little bit, not too much, and say if we both here, me and the girlfriend, both want seconds after we eat this, it's going to get thick while we're eating. You know what I mean? So while it sits while we're eating and before we get seconds. And if that happens, while you're eating the stuff, all you got to do is just add a little bit more milk. Say it gets like really thick and heavy. But I'm just going to get ready here to start serving and eating that. You know what I mean? We're going to mix it up a little bit better. Ugh. Oh, man. I've been eating a little bit of it at a time. This is going to be good. I don't know, because I was already eating it in between. But cheesy. All right, so okay. Damn it. So, all right, I'm gonna leave it for another minute and get ready to serve this cutting board here, and I'm gonna go ahead and start serving some of this up. Lunch or dinner for two, or depending on how much of this is and how well we with mood we're in, this could be just dinner, or else we'll just make what we were really planning for dinner a little later. But I'm gonna serve this up. Okay. Yeah, a no-brainer, we're just gonna serve it up and start eating. I'm gonna fill the rest of this book up after I end this video. So look at that, a nice creamy consistency. So there you have it. Maybe I'll do another show, or maybe one of you guys want to rebel and do something like do mozzarella, or do Longhorn, or Swiss. I'm thinking about doing this with Swiss someday. But anyway, I think what we got to worry about here, what to watch, like I said, cut the pieces of cheese as small as possible. But if you want to use shredded cheese you buy in the store, but what I'm doing in my videos too is using what I get for next to nothing and using it. You can buy your different kind of shredded cheeses if you buy pizzas and all that stuff. If you want to make yourself a pizza, which I'm planning to do eventually, a pizza video. If you got to melt a block of cheese like that, and what I'm basically trying to get you to do is, if you got bunches of, like a big thing of cheese like I'm showing you here, I want to show you something you can do with it. Like I said, I did it once and I learned from trial and error. Don't cut your chunks too big, it'll take forever to melt and you'll have a big mess. But anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching the show, the Asshole Cooking Show. Thank you for watching the show.